Hey Team Bob, here we are again in the kitchen. Normally, you know, you're doing campfire confessions if they've missed that. Catching fish, doing all kinds of different things. But in the kitchen here, you're going to show us a little different take on walleyes because we're always trying to avoid just simply deep frying them, right?
Yes, this one's actually an oven baked one. It's called an oven baked crispy walleye. This mixture that goes into here is, it uses instant potato. And I think the instant potato is what's going to put that crisp on it. But then we've got an equal measure of breadcrumbs or panko breadcrumbs, Parmesan cheese, and then about a half a cup of short lunch. It's just for a little bit of
keeping it together, maybe.
That, and you know, for the seasoning. And sometimes I've experimented with using the Cajun style if you want a little bit of heat, but you just have to be careful with the
Bob,
Cajun
I
style.
can't do the heat.
Well,
Gingers will implode, but
yeah.
But you could.
Right. So so we've got our thicker pieces of the walleye fillets, because we took the thicker pieces to keep everything more consistent when we're baking it, so it makes it easier. One of the things they talk about in the recipe, if you do have a mixture of thicker pieces and thinner pieces, to split them into two pans, start the thicker ones first, and then wait a few minutes before you put the thinner ones in, just so that
Efficient.
you don't get the things too well done. So now I'm just going to run them through the egg wash, then put them in the mixture for the crust onto the cookie sheet, and then we'll be throwing them in the oven.
Egg wash, anything, a little bit of milk in there, anything special?
There's just a tad of H2O.
A tad of water, okay.
So pretty much follow this recipe pretty much as the way it is. So
okay.
We're just going to get these little egg wash. So you're just going to kind of roll it. Pressing it in there.
You're very thorough with your coverage, BT.
You actually have to, it's really the number of revolutions.
Are you counting the flips like a gymnast? Because right now, I mean, we're not getting a 10. We're at about a 7.5.
Well,
we might not make the next round. That one's, we'll give you an 8 on that.
We did it a little extra one, just, you didn't notice that, but there was a specific reason for that one.
We dropped it on the floor ahead of time, or what?
No, so once we're done with this, we're going to throw that in the oven.
We've got that preheated right now to what?
375.
Bob, so how long did we have those in there? We were at 375, right? Even though the recipe technically says 350, was it? Or is that?
Yeah, like I said, I think that this oven I have it's seasoned like me. So may not be as...
It's a veteran?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and check to see. I mean, the thing we want to do is break that apart, take a look at the inside.
Ooh, it's looking pretty good.
So I think we're all done here.
And so, you're just looking for that to kind of flake out and be that white.
Yes. Yeah. You don't want any of the clear in there. So we're seeing all nice white in there. So the thing we're looking for is to make sure that that everything is done. You've got you can see it's crisp up on the outside. So I think we're ready to go.
So this is a pretty simple, there's not a lot of cleanup. This is a good one if you're traveling or at the cabin or something, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's just, did you lose your fork?
Well, I believe our sidekick here took my fork. I'm going to have to steal another one.
They actually got them already cleaned up. So, yeah, this is one that's easy, again, if you put it in the oven, so you can, just as long as I would be careful. It looks like it's hot.
This is a little hot.
Yes. So, but one of the easier recipes, like I said, again, we're getting away from, everything being cooked in oil. So,
Very good. No more demerits for today.
I thought that my demerit was like the surplus was insane.
You're not wrong. You didn't figure wrong on the fish, but this is just, it's good stuff. Just simple. Still taste the fish, but not fishy like for people that aren't big fish eaters.
Well, I think that a lot of I think when you properly handle the walleye, you trim it right. I don't know that you ever really get stuff that's true fishy. Make sure you cut that lateral line out, get rid of any brown stuff. Very rarely, I think we see more things like, the club has like a fish fry, and some of the fish that people bring, could be
Sketch.
a little bit, but as far as the walleye and the perch out of Lake Erie, never a problem.
So is it fair to say, obviously just like painting, the prep is important with the fish itself, like you just said, and then also making sure that you don't under or overcook them?
Yeah, and I think it's the whole process from the time that you catch it to the time that you keep it the temperature controlled on it. Whether it's hot summer, keeping it on ice.
So like a cooler with no ice in it in July is not good?
No, and we're very careful, especially in the hot weather when when we're dealing, we keep it packed in ice so that we never want that fish to get warm throughout that process. So when it's we take them out of the cooler, we're filleting them, they're cold. We're wrapping them, they're cold. So all the time we're really pay attention to taking care of those fish. So I think that's one of the key things that people might overlook is just the whole overall keeping that fish chilled throughout that entire process.
And a good example is we both have Ranger boats. They have amazing live wells, large live wells, but yet even on that show we did in Geneva where some of these fish came from, we took those out of the live well at a certain point and we moved them right to a cooler in the boat because you just get too many fish in the live well and it can't do the job with that.
Especially when those warm temperatures, they just can't, and plus those fish are coming out probably a little bit cooler water because they're down 50 to 60 feet. So, it's really important, I think, always keep maintain the temperature.
Do you know what I think is important now? Less talking and more eating.
All right.